37% of 20 to 39-year-olds reported short sleep duration. This could be due to late-night distractions or an active mind. Being deprived of sleep can have an effect on your academic performance and can make you fall behind. So set a schedule and stick to it. You need sleep.
You're watching West Liberty University's Newsline 14.
Good afternoon and welcome back to this week's edition of Newsline 14. I'm Elena Lynch.
And I'm Davey McKinney. Let's see what's happening on the Hilltop and in national and local news.
Expect to see dinosaurs, princesses, and superheroes roaming the quad of West Liberty University's campus next Thursday, October 26th, because from 1 to 2:30 p.m., elementary schoolers from West Liberty Elementary will be walking around the quad in their costumes, receiving Halloween treats from over 25 West Liberty clubs, organizations, and offices, in addition to participating in festive activities. If your campus entity is interested in registering for the event, contact Lou Karras at lkarras@westliberty.edu. And moving into local news, the Follansbee Chamber of Commerce held their educational summit on Wednesday. The Chamber of Commerce decided to put their funding behind local schools' educational systems. The Chamber presented a total of $1,200 to Brooke County schools. The grant money was given to the grant money was given to 4 Brooke County teachers and students for new supplies. The purpose of this grant money ranges from improving STEM to encouraging positive behavior and even to make student keychains. The money was made from Follansbee's Music in the Park this year, as well as from the 50-50 raffle that was held by the Chamber of Commerce.
The Capitol Theater is hosting their yearly Dancing with the Ohio Valley Stars. The event brings together both dancers and local celebrities of the Ohio Valley to compete in a dance competition. The show's goal is to raise money for the Augusta Levy Learning Center, which helps children with autism reach their highest potential in all they do. The competition will be held at the Capitol Theater on Saturday, November 4th, starting at 7 p.m. To learn more about the event and to get your tickets, please visit capitoltheaterwheeling.com and scroll down to the upcoming events. Spooky season is here, with 10 more days till West Liberty's Halloween Bash. The event will take place on October 30th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Union Ballroom. The events include trick-or-treating, karaoke, and costume contests. The top 3 best costumes win a prize, so make sure to prepare for that while you are still having a good time. Please remember to wear warm clothing and appropriate costumes. This event is brought to you by Student Life and Spices. We hope to see you at the event with either a candy bowl or a microphone at this year's annual Halloween Bash. Make sure to tell your friends so we can make this one the best one yet.
The Monongahela National Forest is planning controlled burns for 3,000 acres of land over the next several weeks. According to a press release, areas in Pocahontas, Greenbrier, Grant, Tucker, and Pendleton counties will be burned if weather permits. The release said that these burns will help reestablish fire's natural role in the ecosystem and to improve forest health and wildlife habitat, also to reduce the threat of wildfires. Forest officials say residents may see and smell smoke for several days. Forest officials advise if you run into smoke while driving, slow down your vehicle, turn on your lights, and proceed appropriately.
Tours for Tots is making its way back to our area after 10 long years. John Labriola and Jamie Faulkner are taking over the event after the Marine Corps Reserve Station dropped the event in 2012. It's a good thing to do for the community and for these children to make a difference in their lives. Faulkner says, all the toys will be given out to the kids in need this December. The dates and locations are still in the works, but we are so excited to have this event back to give to the local children. If you are interested in donating, visit the Toys for Tots website and select the county you are based in. Stay with us, and we will be right back after this short PSA.
National news is coming up next, here on Newsline 14.
Sources of stress are everywhere. Stress can make you feel trapped. But there are ways to manage it. Stress is inevitable, but you can learn how to deal with it, how to handle it, and how to respond to it well. Try to get enough sleep, exercise, eat well, get emotional support, breathe, and find ways to calm down.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back to Newsline 14.
Let's take a look at our national news. U.S. pharmacy chain Rite Aid has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy as of October 15th. Rite Aid has recently come under fire due to lawsuits which allege that the chain aided in the opioid epidemic in the United States. The bankruptcy claim was filed with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of New Jersey. The chain listed estimated assets and liabilities between $1 and $10 billion in their filing. In March, the U.S. Department of Justice sued Rite Aid. The charges accused the pharmacy chain of illegally filing thousands of prescriptions for controlled substances. Rite Aid owns over 2,000 stores across 17 states. After filing for bankruptcy, the chain is expecting to close more than 150 of these locations.
After Kevin McCarthy was ousted this month and that legislative matters are currently at a standstill and finding a new speaker is crucial. On Monday, the first attempt of voting for a new speaker didn't turn out so good for Jim Jordan, only receiving 200 votes. To win, you need 217 votes from the House floor. There are 20 Republicans who are against, and some are saying that Jordan is too extreme for the powerful position of the House Speaker. The second round of voting happened on Wednesday, and Jim Jordan again falling short of votes with 199, which was fewer than Monday. 22 Republicans voted against him. The Democratic nominee, Hakeem Jeffries, earned 212 votes. The third vote was scheduled for today is not happening since Jordan is struggling to flip the GOP holdouts. Instead, two sources confirmed Jim Jordan will instead temporarily backing House Speaker pro tempore Patrick McHenry until January.
The Amazon River has fallen to its lowest level in 121 years. The river currently sits at 44.6 feet, which is a drastic drop from its usual 57.7 feet. This is the worst drought that the Amazon has seen since 2010. The drying river has stranded boats and left remote villages without access to food, medicine, or clean drinking water. Brazil's science ministry blames the onset of El Niño, which is causing extreme climate changes globally. The ministry believes that the drought will last until at least December, when El Niño is at its peak.
Police have arrested a 17-year-old in Connecticut to the Morgan State University shooting in Baltimore on October 3rd. He was taken into custody without incident and faces multiple counts of attempted murder. A warrant has been issued for another suspect named Javon Williams, age 18, in connection to the shooting. He remains at large and should be considered armed and dangerous. The shooters were identified from surveillance video obtained from the shooting. The mayor has said he does not believe the shooting was racially motivated. This shooting is among at least 543 mass shootings so far this year.
Berlin police released a statement this morning around 3:45 a.m. that a 30-year-old man attempted to throw a flaming cocktail drink at the synagogue in Berlin's Central District. Luckily, the cocktails didn't make it to the building and burned out on the pavement. The man was shouting anti-Israeli statements as the police arrested him. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz did denounce violence against Jewish institutions. He said that anti-Semitic behavior will not be tolerated in Germany following the outbreak of the Israel-Hamas war. The incident is being investigated by Germany's state-level security agency.
And in other news, the father of 3 children that were killed in a New Orleans house fire has been arrested in connection to their deaths. 22-year-old Joseph Washington was charged with 3 counts of second-degree murder, 3 counts of cruelty to a juvenile, and 1 count of aggravated arson, the New Orleans Police Department said at the news conference Wednesday afternoon. Investigators said the incident allegedly was the result of a domestic dispute with the mother of the children, who had called 911 shortly after midnight on Tuesday and feared for her children. The death of the 3 children will be determined by the coroner, and fire remains under investigation. Camp Lejeune in Onslow County, North Carolina, also known as the home of Expeditionary Forces in Readiness, since 1941 with the mission to maintain combat readiness units, has found itself in homicide scandal. The base was scheduled to conduct their annual exercise urgent response between October 20th and 28th to maintain their combat-ready status. However, the near future of the base's events are unsure at this time. A Marine who has not been named was killed in a homicide at Camp Lejeune on Wednesday night in the barrack room. A fellow Marine is currently being held on suspicion of being involved. The suspect was taken into custody around 10:15 p.m. Wednesday night, but no details from the crime of the victim or who was involved have been released at this time.
And the murder of a 14-year-old girl in Northern California has finally been solved. This 40-year mystery has finally come to an end. The Tayama County Sheriff's Department has determined that Rochelle Ward was killed in 1983 by a man named Johnny Coy. After several failed attempts to find the killer, newly found evidence has finally put a name on the murderer. Coy was convicted of several crimes throughout his life, including a kidnapping in 1989. Coy died in prison in June of 2019, and unfortunately, Coy will never serve any time for what he did to Ward. Hopefully, Ward's family can finally find some peace of mind for her.
Please stay tuned, because after a short break, we will take a look at what is happening in the world of sports.
That's right, Davey. We'll be right back with some topper team and professional sports news next, here on Newsline 14.
When you're on the move, littering can be easy to do. Luckily, this litter bug caught someone's attention. Hey, is this yours?
Yeah, it's mine.
Littering is extremely bad for the environment, so don't do it again.
Thanks.
Don't be a litter bug.
Do you need to work on projects because a deadline is right around the corner? Then get into the Fine Arts Building. The Fine Arts Building hosts a myriad of amenities such as computer, painting, printer, couch, lights, no lights, audio including this voiceover, instrumenting, table, more computers, so many computers, the theater, printmaking, creating and animating in 3D, drawing still life, chairs, broadcast operation and execution, and it's open almost all the time. Come in early, come in late. Don't come in at all if you want a bad grade. If you need stuff done, visit the Fine Arts Building. Fab is in its name.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Elena Lynch, and let's spin it to Davey McKinney for our sports update this week.
Checking in on the Major League Baseball playoffs, it's the Texas Rangers versus the Houston Astros in the American League Championship Series, and the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Arizona Diamondbacks in the National League Championship Series. The battle for Texas is back and forth right now, with the Rangers taking the first 2 games of the best-of-7 series in Houston. The Astros were able to bounce back on the road to make the series 2-1, with the Rangers still ahead by a game. In the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies are up in their best-of-7 series 2-0. They dominated the Diamondbacks in Philadelphia and look to extend their lead in the series by 3 games. Both the ALCS and NLCS continue tonight. First pitch of the Phillies and Diamondbacks game will be at 5:07 p.m. The Rangers and Astros will get their game started at 8:03 p.m. And in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Steelers' main route runner Deontay Johnson has been out with a hamstring injury since the season opener against San Francisco 49ers. Johnson first tweaked his hamstring after catching a pass from quarterback Kenny Pickett against the 49ers. He has been missed by many fans and players, according to head coach Mike Tomlin. The Steelers play against Los Angeles Rams on Sunday, and many fans are anticipating Johnson to be off the injury reserve list sometime this week. Tomlin stated that Johnson has been participating in practices since Monday. Pittsburgh is looking to stay in the win column and have a healthy team against the Rams. The Hilltoppers football team won its 3rd consecutive game last weekend. West Liberty beat West Virginia Wesleyan 24-7. The Hilltoppers offense fumbled on the first possession, but regrouped for their second. That drive resulted in a touchdown as Rudy Garcia found Ben Turner in the end zone. In the second quarter, Garcia aired it out to Chris Charles on the sideline, and he would take it in for another Hilltopper touchdown. With a few ticks over 1 minute remaining in the game, the Bobcats were able to avoid a shutout as Quinton Pulley threw a touchdown pass to Joseph Triplett from 12 yards out. Garcia finished the game 13-24 with 185 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Dylan Asbury went for 78 yards on the ground over 21 attempts. Cam Rice set a new career high in tackles with 13. West Liberty hosts the Notre Dame Falcons Saturday with a kickoff set for 5 p.m. In other news, the WLU men's soccer team played yesterday against Concord. The game was tense as it was a conference game that decided positions in the playoffs. The game started slow, but quickly got tense between both teams. At the end of the game, the score was 0-1 for the Hilltoppers. This means the WLU men's soccer team is currently ineligible for playoffs. This is a big difference from the last game between the two this season, which ended in a 2-2 tie. Regardless, even though the Hilltoppers fell, that doesn't mean that there aren't more games to be played. The next games will be played at Mueller Field in Ohio against Notre Dame. We hope to see you there. Number 5 West Virginia University's men's soccer team faced off against in-state rivals number 1 Marshall at Dick Desk Soccer Stadium Wednesday evening. The Mountaineers scored an outstanding 5 goals against the Thundering Herd as sophomore Marcus Caldera registered a hat trick, which was the first for the WVU player since 2014. Plus senior Sergio Ors Navarro and freshman Constantinos Christo all found the back of the net. The 5 goals for the Mountaineers given up last night matched the numbers of goals Marshall had given up all 12 games this year. With this win, the Mountaineers remain unbeaten and improved to a 10-0-4 record and a 3-0-3 record in the Sun Belt, while the Thundering Herd's undefeated season comes to an end as they fall to 12-1 and a 5-1 conference action. West Virginia will return to action on the road Sunday night against Coastal Carolina, as Marshall is set to return home to take on Kentucky Sunday evening. And in Cleveland, the Cleveland Browns pulled off a huge upset last Sunday. The Browns beat the San Francisco 49ers 19-7 and are now 3-2 on the season. Cleveland went into the game without several starters. These players include Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson, and Joel Bitonino. My apologies. The game came down to the last play. The 49ers had a chance to win with the game ticking down to the last second field goal, but kicker Jake Moody pulled the kick right, leaving the Browns with a close victory. The Browns are set to take on the Indianapolis Colts this Sunday. Starting QB Deshaun Watson is still questionable to return for this Sunday's game, but has a realistic chance to take the field for the Browns this Sunday.
Thank you, Davey, for that sports update. We're going to head into a short break, and we will be right back with the weather update here on Newsline 14.
Want to get that body you always dreamed of? Visit www.westliberty.edu to find out more on the Wellness Center here at West Liberty.
While cooking can be a fun and delicious activity, a lot can go wrong if you're not careful. Here are a few tips to make sure your meal prep is pain-free. Keep raw meat and raw vegetables on separate surfaces to reduce chances of cross-contamination. Make sure your burner is clean so it does not cause any problems when it is ignited. Cook meat until it appears done on each side and take the internal temperature to make sure it is done all the way. Before cutting vegetables, make sure your cutting board is completely secured. When cutting vegetables, be very careful so you do not cut your own hand. Keep a firm grip on the knife and your veggies, and keep your left hand in a position out of the way of the knife. Make sure to keep an eye on everything you are cooking, especially things on high heat or meals that involve butter or oil so they don't burn. Cook your meat thoroughly before adding it to other ingredients. Wash your hands often throughout and clean up by washing your dishes when you're finished. Make sure to use these tips every time you cook to ensure your meal goes smoothly. This message was brought to you by WLU-TV.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Elena Lynch with your campus weather update. Today we are seeing cloudy skies with a high of 65 and a low of 53. The current temperature is sitting at 62 degrees with wind speeds at 10 miles an hour. Now let's take a look at the weather around the U.S. On the west coast in Los Angeles, they are seeing partly cloudy skies at 72. But down in Houston, it is sunny and 81. In Kansas City, we are going to see partly cloudy skies and temperatures at 62. Down in Miami, it is partly cloudy with warm temperatures at 83 degrees, and moving all the way up into New York, which is over here, it is a beautiful sunny day and it is 63 degrees. And back here in the Ohio Valley, we are seeing cloudy skies sitting at 63 degrees. Now don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with our 5-day forecast. Coming up next here on Newsline 14.
During the cold and flu season, it is important for people to practice good coughing etiquette, like covering your mouth and nose with tissue. And if you don't have a tissue, cough or sneeze into your sleeve, not your hand. Putting your used tissue in a wastebasket. And always remember to wash your hands. For more information, call 1-800-232-4636.
You're watching Newsline 14.
Welcome back to Newsline 14. I'm Elena Lynch. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Thursday, we will see a high of 65 and a low of 53 with cloudy skies. Friday, we will see rain showers with a high of 58 and a low of 47. As we kick off the weekend, Saturday, we will have rain showers with a high of 54 and a low of 43. And on Sunday, we will have a high of 50 and a low of 34 with cloudy skies. And finally, on Monday, we will have a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 57 and a low of 37.
Thank you, Elena, for the weather update. But it looks like we are just out of time.
That's right, Davey. And you know what that means? It is time for our national weather. Not national weather, for a National Day segment.
You know, that is right. That's also the best part of the show, in my opinion. And this weekend on Saturday, the 21st, is National Apple Day. And you know what they say, an apple a day does keep the doctor away.
You know what, Davey? You couldn't be more right. And in the midst of cold and flu season, too, I mean, it just could not come at a more perfect time.
I agree. I mean, I agree. I mean, I had kind of like some sniffles going on, some different type of like gunk as well. I know our technical director, John, he was almost dead, I think.
He was.
But he probably should
needed a couple apples.
Probably should have ate a couple more apples. That is true.
What's your favorite kind of apple? I have to know.
Golden apple, of course.
It's got to be Honeycrisp. Honeycrisp is the best one.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. See, I don't like the red ones. The red ones just they don't kick it for me. And granny apples are too sour.
Too sour.
Too sour for me.
Apple crisp is definitely the way to go, but it does look like we are out of time here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. I'm Elena Lynch.
And I'm Davey McKinney. We'll see you back here next week at the same time on Newsline 14.
He played pretty well.
The Paul N. Elbin Library is your destination for learning. Featuring over 200,000 items in print, audio, and video formats. Students have access to search for books of all kinds. Our state-of-the-art egg chairs give the user an immersive experience. We offer both Macs and Dells for your convenience. Please be sure to follow all signs. Our hours are Monday through Thursday 8 to 11, Fridays 8 to 4, Saturdays are closed, Sundays 5 to 11. Our friendly staff will assist in finding the right study material for you, whether it's a physical copy or on the school's database. The Paul N. Elbin Library at West Liberty University. Please call 304-336-8261.
When going outside, you put a coat on to protect yourself from the cold. When washing the dishes, you protect your hands from dry, itchy skin with gloves. So why wouldn't you use a condom when participating in sex? Stay safe and rubber up.
Hey, whoa, hey man, what are you doing? Hey man, what are you doing? I don't think you're split to drive.
Nah, man, it's all good. My house is like 20 seconds up that street.
It doesn't matter. It's still not a good idea. I don't think you're fit to drive.
Dude, we've been friends for like 10 years, man. Can't you trust me?
That doesn't matter here. I do trust you, but I don't think you're fit to drive.
Well then, just shut up. Shut up! I can totally drive myself a mile up to my house.
Fine then, if that's what you want to do, so be it. What the?
Every day in America, another 28 people die as a result of drunk driving crashes. Don't be the next victim.